a bit of a random flying day today. Today I'm actually flying on Eastern Airways Jetstream 41 from Southampton to Leeds, because why not? Here we go, it's Joel here, and welcome back to yet another trip report. We've now arrived at Southampton Airport to take our Eastern Airways flight down to Leeds. Before we get on to the main part of the trip report, I want to discuss the current situation with Southampton Airport. Before COVID-19, Southampton Airport was a major hub for the domestic UK airline Flybe. Sadly, this airline did go bankrupt in March 2020, so now there's much less flights out of this airport. However, new airlines such as KLM and BA City Flyer have or are going to start here soon. Airlines such as BA City Flyer and Eastern Airways are taking over some of the many destinations that Flybe used to fly to when they were a thing. We'll discuss the current situation with the airport as we walk around the terminal and get on with today's flight, but for now, enjoy the video. Welcome to the tiny Southampton Airport, located in the very south of the United Kingdom. Southampton is one of the gateways to cruises all around Europe and ferries to the Isle of Wight, so it seems pretty obvious that it would need its own airport. Southampton's main terminal is rather small, so it is very easy to locate check-in desks from any airline. Eastern Airways check-in desk is located in the main area just as you walk into the terminal. There were very few passengers in the check-in area and it took less than 3 minutes to get my boarding pass. I then made my way straight through to security. The security area is very small as well and leads straight into the duty-free, which, believe it or not, is also very small. Welcome to the main departure area at Southampton. There isn't many shops here, but there's a WH Smith, a Costa and the Olive Tree Cafe and Bar. Sadly, out of all of these, WH Smith is the only one open. However, to my surprise, the Spitfire Lounge was open, which allows priority pass customers and one guest, so we made the most of our time and headed up to the lounge. The Spitfire Lounge is the only lounge at Southampton and is quite basic, with a small selection of biscuits, drinks and snacks, but platters of cheese and meat were available on order. Our aircraft has been holding at 7,000 above the runway for absolutely ages now. There are several explanations to why it could be doing this. It could be too heavy, there could be something wrong with the aircraft, the gear couldn't be coming down, anything like that. It could be something on the runway, but it's quite interesting. It's just stuck at 7,000.
It's delayed as well.
And it's delayed on the arrival board, yeah. So I actually just sat here in the Spitfire Lounge at Southampton, which I'm actually quite surprised to see open. However, I'm looking on the radar and our plane, the Jetstream, is arriving from Leeds. It's actually, first of all, in the Flybe livery, but has been holding for a very, very long time now. It does seem to be descending down into Southampton now, but I wonder why it's been holding so long. It didn't descend whilst it was holding, it stayed at 7,000 feet and probably gone around 8 times now, but is now descending down to 4,000 feet. So now we've actually been called for well, the person just said anyone for Leeds Bradford, they're waiting for you at the gate, but the plane's been holding, planning to land now. Departure boards are saying departure at 7:15, which is almost an hour from now. With all this confusion going on, I made my way down to the gate to get ready to board. We did find out the reason for the holding, which I'll get onto later. Eventually though, our aircraft arrived from Leeds.
Good afternoon, Eastern Airways flight to Leeds Bradford to gate number 4. 10 passengers come forward holding your boarding pass.
We boarded from gate 4, where a bus was waiting to take us to the aircraft. As an aviation enthusiast, I love bus gates, providing amazing views of the aircraft at the airport. Here we get really close to a Loganair E145 as it pulls into its stand. Here is today's aircraft, Golf Mike Alpha Juliet Kilo, a 26.1-year-old Jetstream 41 with a long list of previous airlines. It started with Manx Airlines in September 1995 and has operated for British Regional Airlines, British Airways City Express and Sky Express. Most noticeably, however, it previously flew for Flybe and is still painted in the beloved purple scheme. Welcome on board the Eastern Airways Jetstream 41. The seat is basic, but considering this is a short regional aircraft, it's pretty good, with a tray table, seat pocket and a cup holder. The legroom is a little limited, but perfectly okay for a short flight like this.
Between 6 and 6:30, so I have to hold before I can land. We'll just slow things up a little bit. We should be good to go in the next couple of minutes. We'll try. I'm expecting a flight time of just under an hour, so it should be arriving in Leeds not too far behind schedule. I don't need to say it's nice and clean smooth the one.
With the reason of the holding being diagnosed with a routine airport closure, we started engines 30 minutes late and performed an awesome power back. As we made our way up to our cruising altitude of just 18,000 feet, the views were impressive. Eastern Airways don't allow custom seat selection on this route, so I definitely lucked out with this window view. Sadly, food and drink service has not resumed on this flight, so the only thing to do is take a look around the cabin area of the Jetstream 41. This aircraft is of course a very small prop airliner, which means that it's in a 1-2 configuration and the ceiling is quite low. Taller passengers may struggle to walk around the aisle. Let's take a more in-depth look at what the seat has to offer. The tray table is a reasonable size, with a small cup holder as well. Unfortunately, none of this is put to use, as like I said earlier, they don't serve any food or drink on this flight. The windows on the Jetstream are absolutely huge, which makes filming and looking out the window incredible. However, the particular window shade for my seat was a little broken. It would not stay up and would go down by itself, which I found very frustrating. The seatbelt signs were then switched on and we started our descent into Leeds, Bradford. After arrival, I asked the cabin manager if it was alright to visit the cockpit. To my delight, he said yeah. I have to say, it looked pretty dated and the ceiling is quite low. In fact, I actually hit my head when entering.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, mind your head.
After that event, we deboarded and entered the domestic arrival area at Leeds, which consists of just a door and one baggage belt, but it definitely does the job, considering there aren't many domestic flights that go into Leeds. So then, welcome to Leeds Bradford after my flight on Eastern Airways Jetstream 41. That was a great flight. It was basic, to say the least. The plane was an absolute joy. I love little planes like that. They just are full of excitement. The Jetstream's a nice little aircraft. When I visited the cockpit, the pilots were friendly, the crew was very friendly. Well, you know, did the announcement there was no service, and they've actually said to the passenger that the service hasn't started yet. They haven't resumed their service on short flights like that since the start of COVID, which is understandable, especially for a small domestic airline like Eastern Airways. It isn't really that necessary to have a service on board. Would have been nice though. Anyway, welcome to Leeds Bradford. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Check out the blog, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.